Losing a spouse is not just a passing moment of grief. It is a profound, life-altering experience. The emotional weight is immense, but it's the crushing reality of decision-making that can be even more overwhelming. In the wake of loss, everything changes. Your world feels like it's turned upside down, and suddenly, you're forced to navigate a multitude of new responsibilities. The decisions you make in these difficult moments can shape the rest of your life. And while it's easy to be swayed by pain, loneliness, or external pressure, certain choices could lead to regret, financial hardship, or even emotional setbacks that can make your healing journey even more painful. Grief is intensely personal, and each journey through it is different, but some mistakes are universal. These are the pitfalls that many unwittingly step into, only to realize too late that they weren't truly ready to make them. These mistakes are not just about avoiding regret. They're about helping you navigate this difficult chapter with clarity, dignity, and the self-care you deserve. In this video, we'll walk through 5 critical decisions to say no to after losing a spouse, with the hope that knowing them ahead of time can protect your emotional, financial, and physical well-being. Rushing into major financial decisions, one of the most common and painful mistakes many widows and widowers make is rushing into major financial decisions. In the immediate aftermath of loss, it's easy to feel like you need to act quickly. Whether it's selling the family home, moving to a new location, or making decisions about investments and insurance policies, there's an overwhelming sense of urgency. The thought of making changes can feel like it provides control or stability. But in reality, these decisions are often driven by grief, not reason. And while they might seem right in the heat of the moment, they can lead to regret when emotions settle and the full weight of the consequences sinks in. For instance, take Margaret's story. At 74, after losing her husband of many years, well-meaning friends and advisors encouraged her to downsize and move to a smaller apartment to start fresh. It made sense in theory, a smaller space, lower bills, and a fresh start. But just months after making the move, Margaret realized she had acted out of panic. The familiar warmth of her home was gone, and so was the community that had surrounded her for decades. The grief she had been carrying clouded her judgment, and she wished she had waited, given herself the space to grieve fully before making such a life-altering decision. Financial decisions should be made with clear eyes, not clouded by grief. Another dangerous trap is giving away assets too soon. Grief often brings a strong desire to help others, children, grandchildren, or charities, but giving away large amounts of money or assets too early can leave you financially vulnerable down the line. Before you make any significant financial changes, take time. Wait at least a year, as experts often recommend, before making irreversible decisions. This gives you the emotional distance to evaluate what's truly in your best interest in the long term. Isolating yourself from friends and family when you lose a spouse, loneliness is inevitable. But isolation is something you can control. It's natural to want space to grieve, but shutting out the people who care about you can have devastating effects on both your mental and physical health. Grief is a heavy burden to carry, but no one should carry it alone. When you distance yourself for too long, the isolation often turns into a dangerous spiral, one that can deepen sadness, amplify anxiety, and even affect your physical health. Take Walter's story, 78 years old, widowed after 52 years of marriage. For months after his wife's passing, he shut himself off from his family and friends. He convinced himself that they couldn't understand his pain and that it would be easier to deal with it alone. But instead of feeling better, Walter felt worse. His days became indistinguishable from one another, and he found himself struggling with fatigue, depression, and a lack of motivation. It wasn't until a neighbor insisted he'd join her for coffee that something shifted. That single act of reconnecting gave him back a sense of belonging. It reminded him that he wasn't alone in his grief. And slowly, he began to rebuild his support network, one small conversation at a time. The key to managing grief is not forcing yourself to jump into large social gatherings, but taking small steps to stay connected. Whether it's picking up the phone for a brief conversation or taking a short walk with a friend, these simple acts can make a world of difference. By reconnecting, you can ease the burden of isolation and remind yourself that even in your darkest moments, support is available. Neglecting your own health when the emotional weight of grief feels insurmountable. Many people begin neglecting their own health. Skipping meals, missing doctor's appointments, and losing interest in basic self-care can be common responses. But it's crucial to remember that caring for your health during this time isn't a betrayal of your grief. It's an essential part of healing. If you don't take care of yourself, you'll find it harder to heal emotionally. James, at 81, learned this the hard way. After his wife's death, he stopped cooking for himself, telling himself he wasn't hungry. He lived off processed foods, and within months, he began to feel weak, fatigued, and disoriented. His daughter noticed the change and encouraged him to start eating properly again. Slowly, with small changes, more water, nutritious meals, he found his energy returning and his mood lifted. He was able to better cope with his grief because he was taking care of his body. Grief affects us physically in ways we often don't realize. It can lead to weight loss, increased blood pressure, sleep problems, and even cognitive decline. When you neglect your health, these effects only worsen. Prioritizing your health, even in small ways, whether that's eating balanced meals, staying active with daily walks, or seeing your doctor, can make a significant difference in how you feel. Remember, taking care of yourself is not a selfish act. It's necessary for your emotional recovery. Rushing into a new relationship after losing a spouse, it's natural to crave companionship. But rushing into a new relationship too soon can often lead to more heartache. Grief can create a desperate desire for connection, but making romantic decisions before you're ready can complicate your healing. While it's perfectly normal to want to feel loved and supported, a new relationship should be built on genuine emotional readiness, not the need to fill a void. Barbara, 72, met someone just months after her husband passed. The companionship she sought felt comforting at first, but as the relationship quickly escalated, she realized it was moving too fast. She wasn't emotionally prepared for this new connection, and soon, she felt trapped in a situation that wasn't right for her. Looking back, she wished she had taken more time for herself before jumping into something new. It's important to take time before considering another relationship. Grief takes time to process, and a new relationship should be based on a healthy, stable emotional foundation, not on a desire to escape the pain of loss. Ignoring the importance of healing, the healing process after losing a spouse, is not linear. There is no timeline for grief, and there is no right way to grieve. But many people make the mistake of thinking that healing should be quick. The truth is, grief doesn't have an expiration date. It's okay to grieve as long as you need to. It's okay to take your time to heal emotionally, physically, and mentally. During this time, surround yourself with those who truly care. Lean on friends and family who offer support. Don't rush through your grief. Take each day as it comes, and give yourself the space and time to heal. Navigating life after loss is undeniably hard, but with the right guidance, patience, and self-compassion, you can come through this difficult period with the strength and clarity needed to move forward. Stay connected with those who care about you. Make thoughtful decisions, and remember that it's okay to ask for help. Grief doesn't last forever, but the lessons learned from it can shape your journey for years to come. You don't have to face this alone. It's crucial to honor the grief and the memory of your late spouse, not by rushing forward, but by taking the time needed to heal. True recovery doesn't come from quick fixes like another relationship, but from understanding your own feelings, embracing the void for what it is, and allowing space to truly come to terms with the loss. There is no timeline for healing, and forcing a new bond prematurely often leads to even more hurt in the long run. Remember, when you're ready to open your heart again, it should be because you've taken the time to rebuild it, and only after you've fully understood and worked through your grief. Your happiness doesn't lie in filling the empty space with someone new. It lies in embracing your journey of healing and self-rediscovery. The bottom line: your healing journey is yours alone. Losing a spouse is undeniably one of life's most heart-wrenching experiences. But through it all, you have the power to choose how you move forward. The mistakes we discussed today are not roadblocks. They're simply detours. By recognizing the potential pitfalls and taking steps to avoid them, you'll be better equipped to navigate this difficult chapter in your life. Remember, your grief is valid, and your healing is a process, not a race. Don't rush your healing, and don't make irreversible decisions based on pain, loneliness, or pressure from others. Take your time. Surround yourself with love. Seek help when needed, and honor the memory of your spouse by taking care of yourself first. You deserve that time, that space, and that grace. It's okay to take small steps. Just know that each step brings you closer to the peace and strength you deserve. If you're still with me, please take a moment to leave a comment or share your thoughts. This is a space where we can support each other through one of life's toughest journeys. I'd love to hear how you're navigating your own healing and what you've learned along the way. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider hitting that button and turning on notifications so you can join me as we continue to explore these life-changing topics. Your support means the world to me.